Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are in the world. Hi, world gamers. Good to see you all. It is Monday, the 18th of June, and we are a week and 1 day into the World Game. The team are going to be joining us very shortly, so I'm going to start by giving everyone an update on where we're at and what's been happening just in the last week since we got started. It's been super exciting, so let me screen share and we'll click over to here. So here is our World Game Circle. It's circle number 410. So you have to be in the circle to actually watch right now. So you should be already in this circle, so you're watching it. And here is our chat for today. So you can go ahead and say good morning or good afternoon or good evening to me. Let me know where you're dialing in from. It's not so sunny actually here today. It's actually a little bit dull today, but go ahead and let me know who's on the call, where you are, and you can use this thread for posting your questions and comments. And what you'll see is there's a little blue button here that says new comments available. So instead of refreshing your screen, just click on new comments available, and that will update and say who's here. Hello from Tigers team. Good afternoon to you guys. Good to see you. So you can just go ahead.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, hey, Roger.
Are we all here?
Yeah, hello. We're live already. We're live. We've already started. So I'm just giving everyone a little update on what's been happening with the World Game. So so everyone's in here. So go ahead and just let me know that you've joined, and then I'll hand over to Roger in a minute. So you're going to see some pretty cool things here on Genius U today. So look at our lovely new bar, our lovely new blue bar, which is showing the total number of giving impacts and the total number of Genius dollars that have been earned so far in the game as well, and which game it is. Today is day 9 of 180, and you can click at any time onto this ranking page. So when you click that, it takes you here onto our rankings page. You've got 24,915 giving impacts. This is amazing. Like, this is just in our first 9 days. It's so cool. And 26,943 Genius dollars that have been earned. And we've got our leaderboard here. So this is the leaderboard by people. So we've got Renska Carbone, who is number 1 for giving impacts. So Renska has gone in and given 3,600 giving impacts. And you can see here's our leaderboard just for the giving impact. So we've got quite a few of the team members on here. Come on, everyone. You need to be beating the team members. Like I told you, the team members can't actually win the prizes that you guys can win, but we've got our own little competition going as well as team members. So but you should definitely be beating us. Jenna has slipped in 3rd place. Jenna is one of our Genius Igniters who works in Entrepreneurs Institute. Julie's in here on the leaderboard. Congratulations to Julie. So we've got Renska and Julie on the leaderboard. Then we've got Roger and Danny. Then we've got Jan, who's one of our global partners. We've got Tina. Tina's playing awesome at the moment. So Tina is number 8 for giving impacts. And if I change this here to Genius Dollars as well, Tina is in 1st place for Genius Dollars. This means Tina has been our most active World Game player on Genius U. So she has gone and earned herself 1,159 Genius Dollars, which is awesome. Eileen has just in the last 24 hours, moved herself into 2nd place with 528 Genius dollars. So great to see many of you already on here on this leaderboard as well. There's over 600 people who now have started earning Genius dollars, which is pretty awesome. And quite a few people have gone in and done some giving impacts as well. Now, when you click on the circles, you can see which circles are playing the game and which ones are winning as well. This is their cumulative total of everybody who's in that circle who's playing the World Game. So your circle can win as well as the individual, which is pretty groovy. And we've got the city circle showing separately as well. London circle is in the lead right now. Good job, London. Well done, Gloria. So that's the cumulative total there is that it's just short of 10,000 giving impacts have been done by the members of the London City Circle. And there's 3,604 Genius dollars being earned cumulatively. Brisbane is closely following behind in 2nd place. And Durban's doing well as well. Okay, so you can see this is the city circles. And then you can also click onto the United Nations Global Goals, and you can see each of those 17 circles there as well for all of the United Nations Global Goals. So it's pretty awesome what's been happening in just 1 week. And it's great to see so much activity, to see so many people posting in the stream, setting up new events, creating new circles. I've had loads of friend requests, which has been great. I got some new reviews as well. Thank you for those people who gave me some reviews. So there's been lots of activity in here, lots of people going in, getting connected, sharing content, and getting super awesome. So I'm really excited about this. I know I've been logging in every day, really excited just to see what everyone's been doing, what they've been posting, and what the numbers are looking like. And on the 10x your impact micro degree. We've now got 1,520 students enrolled, and we're just releasing the 9th step as well later this morning. So lots of activity, very exciting. And what I'll do now is I'm going to hand it over to Roger, who is going to be doing some training with everyone. So let me stop screen sharing. And hey, good afternoon, Roger.
Hello. Hi.
How are you doing? All right. I'm going to mute myself and turn off my video and pass over to you just now. All right.
Okay. Fabulous. All right. Hi, everyone. And welcome to the call. Yeah, very exciting to see what's happening with the World Game. And I want to add a few more things to what Michelle just shared there as well. Let me just share my screen this time around. And a couple of different things. First of all, if anyone is a little behind on the learning part of this as well, you will see that when you actually go into, join the game and so on, of course, that you get the free course, which is the 10 times your impact micro degree. We haven't made it exactly that easy yet in order to play the game. In order to do the 10 times your impact micro degree. So let me just show you the navigation as we have everyone who's on the call here at the moment. The first one is we will make it much easier in that when you actually click on the rankings, it will then actually give you a button that you can actually go in and actually just take the micro degree. But in the same way that on here, you see that there's a World Game with the rankings. You see there's a store, which is obviously where you go to give your giving impacts. And then it then tracks the giving impacts as well, right? So that's all on here, obviously. So you can do that. And you can actually organize it by whichever giving impact you want to get to the ones that you are most interested in and to give there. And then that automatically then updates your number on total impacts. So even if you did it while we're on the call, we'll be able to see that difference. But then in addition to that, we then have got, and I'm going to come back to this whole thing about the impacts in dollars in a moment as well, because there's some things that you may not be aware of that I want to just share of what's happening at the moment and how it's growing. But let me just share that if you are having difficulty at the moment finding your 10 times your impact micro degree, you just click the micro degrees. And at this point, from micro degrees, when you go to the mental micro degrees, which is this button here, and you just scroll down to the bottom. So it's not easy, right? But here it is, 10 times your impacts right here. So you can see 1,520 people enrolled already. And these are all the really active people right now. So while, of course, you can just go in and do the micro degree, if you're interested in connecting up with some new people and people that obviously are out there because they're getting active in the game as well, you can just click where it says 1,520 students enrolled, and you get to see all of the actual students, right? There's a lot of them, so it's thinking at the moment. Hopefully this is going to come through. Where is it? Lou? Maybe that is not working at this moment.
No, okay. That's not doing that at the moment, Roger. We're going to work on that.
Okay, all right. Okay,
yeah.
There you go.
And yeah, at the moment it was that only the mentor could see anyway, but we just need to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so generally you should be able to see that. So that still has to be done. Okay, but basically from here you can see all these different people who already are posting down here, because a lot of people are in here and already getting connected up with the actual micro degree. So you can see everyone that's in there. And then similarly, when you actually, and of course, if this is not working here, you can still go to the circle and see it there. From here, you're going through every one of the steps. And these are all the different steps as you go. And the content in here really gets you leading very, very, you can see every day we're releasing a new one. Many of you are doing this, I know, right? And you can see everyone who's in here doing this too. We've got up to now step 8, which is here where we're actually going through about how this all links in with the impact meter. For those of you who actually follow along with this, which I definitely recommend everyone should, you're going to see, and you can be posting these, you can be sharing them as well, so other people come in and actually do this too, because we're getting a consistent number of new people every single day coming and actually joining this micro degree too. And this is not going to stop. This is going to continue all the way through the year. So while you're getting it live, in the future, obviously, it's all getting captured as well, which means others then come on board as well. And this is a big week on the things that we're doing off the back of this. So we have, for example, you're going to see within the next day, you're going to see that there is this playbook, which is giving you the whole impact meter at 10 times your income and impact. And on this, it explains the origins of it. It goes through how it all links to the wealth dynamics spectrum levels. It goes to the levels of the impact meter and how it works. And then it goes into all this detail about basically how you go about designing at every single level, from a level 1, business, level 2 business, all the way through each level, what it looks like, what the steps are as you go, all the way through as well, which is super, super valuable stuff, right? So do make sure that you follow along so you can actually get all that information as you go too, right? Because that's all basically all through this week. Wednesday, you would have got the emails to say that I'm going to be doing a webinar just for our World Game players and mentors this Wednesday in terms of what you can do over this 30 days to already be 10 times your impact. We're also going to be talking about the things we've got coming up in Bali, where we have the Exponential Entrepreneur event, which many of you are coming to already. And also, obviously, we've got like, our master trainers where we're training them up so they can actually be flying around the world and actually being able to run events with different city leaders as well. And the workshops we're setting up to make it really simple, easy with slides put together and everything for you to be able to deliver on really good content that people can then use and that you can then tailor-make and build your own, consulting business, training business, mentoring business off the back of all that as well, right? So we've got all that coming, and that's happening this Wednesday. And then our second last step, which is going to be this coming Friday, because it finishes on Saturday. That's the 14 days. On Friday at 3 o'clock Singapore time, you're going to see, because we're going to be posting it very shortly, that I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live, which will actually be the video for that last step, which will be all about basically the ways to play the game and the ways everyone is playing, the reasons they're playing as well. So whereas the first Facebook Live is like, hey, we're going to start playing, by then we're going to say, hey, here's the results and what we're doing, and just the shift that can see the moment a game starts, right? And the reason that we believe that if you could put the right dynamics into a game, everyone's going to want to play it as well. So a couple of things I just wanted to share before we do two things. I'm going to come over to Jess, because we, obviously last week already, had the Brisbane event. We have some new ones coming up. And then in terms of the ways we're going about our planning and what you need to know about the upcoming ones, that's going to be something that Jess is going to share in a moment. And then I'm also going to be having a bit of a conversation and bringing Danny on around the next step that in terms of the actual training session, right? Because every one of the sessions that we've been running so far have been very much around, the marketing side. Like, how do you do the online side? How do you do the partnership side? And if you go and follow each of them from the last couple of calls, you'll see, like, as we've gone through each, how do you do your own database, how we do it. And we've kind of covered each of those. So we're now going to talk about how do you really enroll someone, engage someone, whether it's into the World Game, whether it's into your own programs, whether it's into your own event, the most effective ways to do that, right? And the ways that we have learned that work really, really well to actually do that as well. So we're going to cover that in a second as well. But two things I want to just mention about the scoring. The first one is that with the B1G1 impacts, while we're tracking them on our side, every week we update B1G1 on all of the giving. So all the giving that's actually happened here, they get updated on all of that. They update all of their site on all of that too. And then we actually have got a Genius U account which then tracks all of your givings by individual, right? So we're going to have them within B1G1. So we'll share that link with you and show you what that looks like in the coming weeks. So that's one thing that happens. And then we are then going to get a full sync together, because that's going to be that's something we're working on. That's going to be available within the next couple of months, where you can be a B1G1 member, you can be in the World Game, and rather than being this kind of like sync where you got to wait for the sync to happen, it just happens in real time, right? So that's all going to be coming before the World Game is over, right? We're going to have all that in place. So the first thing is that on B1G1 impacts is really great to just see the growth of that. And similarly, at the moment, we have something like about 3 different things you can give to within each of the different United Nations Global Goals. That's going to grow as well, right? So we're going to see that grow. And remember, this is the first out of 12 years, right? Like, we're here in 2018. We're going to go on to 2030. And so the fact that we've got off to this great start, but it's still the first year, I really believe that in the future, when we look back and go, hey, look, do you remember the first week that we did this and we got all excited that we did like 24,000 giving impacts in 1 week? And in the future, we're going to be looking back and seeing us do that in a day. And we're going to be like, wow, like at the beginning, we started small and then we just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I really think that if we think about this like a 12-year journey, that's been one of my biggest learnings. We talk a lot about promotions. We do have a long vision with each of our companies, but to actually run a promotion, which is going to be like a decade-long promotion, that's like a major deal, right? And the experience of doing that and having to think on a longer time frame and what things will look like in 12 years from now has been a really interesting exercise in itself. So just one thing is on the impacts. We're going to just see that get smarter and smarter as we go. But at the moment, it's all about playing the game and getting into it and experiencing it. So go ahead and do that now, and just get your rankings up there and just see how it just gets you thinking differently about the game. The second thing is on Genius Dollars. So the Genius Dollars now, whereas before you only really earned Genius Dollars because you were logging in every day. Now there's Genius Dollars being awarded for everything. So you'll notice that when you actually go in and make a comment, you do a post, you do a review, you kind of finish a micro degree, whatever it is you're doing, as well as you logging in connection, like steps and learning steps with and interactions within your dashboard, you're going to see your Genius Dollars just growing all the time. And our vision of the Genius Dollars is really as our own digital currency, that by the end of this year, those Genius Dollars don't go away. Those Genius Dollars become something that you can begin trading with others on the platform that you're going to be able to have the ability to buy things or put those Genius dollars towards things, whether it's products that happen to be EI products, entrepreneur resource products, whether they're products that happen to be mentors. Like, so when you put your own training products and your own events on GeniusU, then people can actually redeem some of their Genius dollars for discounts across those. And we're going to explain how that all works at the end of the year. But at that point, we should have amassed several $1 million of Genius dollars that then people are going to want to redeem and use. And of course, if you've got your own products on GeniusU, which we're going to be showing you how to do in the coming months as well, all of that's going to allow you to actually run your whole business on GeniusU. And that's really the vision of where we want to go, is to make sure we're not just providing the #1 education platform for entrepreneurs on GeniusU with your own Genie, but we're also providing to all mentors the very best set of tools to run your global mentoring business on GeniusU to support the entrepreneur movement, right? So that's what we're doing with the Genius dollars, for anyone wondering how we're evolving that as well. So with all that being shared, let me just come over, first of all, to Jess, just to give a bit of an update on some of the things happening in our world of events. Hello, Jess.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So sorry I wasn't here on the Monday call last week. Normally I would be, because I do love this call and seeing all our partners again. But it was a nice public holiday in Sydney, which was fabulous. So I enjoyed my public holiday. And it was off the back of our Australian Entrepreneur Summit, which was held in Brisbane at the W Hotel, which was a fabulous hotel, very snazzy. However, it had a few teething problems because it was within its first week of opening. So although gorgeous, did present a few problems because we did all get pushed out on a fire drill on a Saturday afternoon, which was pretty funny. But it was great to see everyone, great to see all of our Australian attendees come along, and we invited a lot of new people into the community too, which is always fabulous to see. Just to go through some of the events that we do have coming up, because we do have a number of events over the next few months. In sort of a date order, I guess. We've got Master Trainer accreditation on the 15th to the 19th of July in Bali, followed very closely by Performance Consultant certification from the 17th to the 21st of July, and EXC Bali on the 21st and 22nd of July. Now, if you're on this call and you attended EXC in London earlier this year in April, please do post up how much you enjoyed it, because I know basically everyone who came to the event, I think we had about 100 people in the room, everyone loved it, and I'd love for you to post up. And for anyone who's on the fence about whether they want to come to Bali, you can see what value people got out of it, because yeah, I know that everyone who walked out of the room got immense value from that event. Exponential Entrepreneur Bali it is. The events we've got coming up on the other side of the world. So we've got our blockchain accelerator on the 6th to the 8th of July, which is specifically for companies who are startup companies and companies who are starting up in the blockchain space. Bit of a new area for us to be going into, although Roger's been in it for a very long time, obviously. So really look forward. If you do have any questions around that event or want to attend, please, or any of the events, please do email us at eventsupport@entrepreneursinstitute.com and we'll get back to you ASAP. And after that, we've got Lake Tahoe on the 23rd of August, which is over in America, which would be fun. And I wish I was going, because I've heard it's very beautiful. And then following on from that, our European Entrepreneur Summit from the 7th to 9th September. So I'll be sending out emails around that very soon. And also Vilnius Entrepreneur Fast Track in Lithuania is on the 12th of September, which will be super cool too. And that's it from me, Roger.
Awesome. Thank you, Jess. Yeah, and if that wasn't enough, if you are in the UK, when I am going to be in London for the Blockchain Accelerator, which starts on Friday the 6th, on Thursday the 5th, we have the whole GeniusU team in, because we do our quarterly review at the beginning of every quarter, right? So it's beginning of July. So we're going to be doing that on the Thursday the 5th. And in the evening, at around about 7 o'clock, we haven't gone out with any notice on this yet, but 7 o'clock on Thursday the 5th, we're inviting all of our partners in London to get together at one of our locations to just go through like what's coming up over the next couple of months and how to really make the most of everything from the World Game through to our Entrepreneur Summit coming up. And even the kind of things that we're doing in Bali, the whole partner pathway and how that's all evolving, right? So that's a really good way to reconnect with everyone there in the UK as well. So while we haven't given you the details yet, that's the first thing, is just keep the Thursday the 5th evening free because I'd love to see you again. Let's come over to Danny, because what I want to share is, this whole thing around the first step of engaging. When you have a group of people who now have joined your circle or who are interested in doing something with you, they might have contacted you via Genius U, and they're now saying, hey, what can you provide for me? I saw you as a mentor. Or even when you're actually going out with your own promotion, and you've got an opportunity now to get in front of people that may be interested in doing something with you, just how we go about basically making sure that we're not trying to sell something, but we're simply providing enough service that someone chooses whether they want to buy, which is a huge difference, because if you're ever coming from a place where you're trying to sell something, you're always going to already have a fear of rejection. You're always going to kind of come from the wrong space. Whereas if you're coming from a place of service, then you can never go wrong, because you're always going to give something of value no matter what. And if they decide to buy something, it's going to be the right thing for them anyway. But it has to be something which is directed by you, because most people are overwhelmed about all the choices they face in life in the first place. So Danny, do you want to share just some of the kind of key tips that you've seen over time that we already teach all of our Genius Igniters in terms of how do you actually engage people effectively?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Roger, for bringing me on. I love the opportunity to connect and also share back on some of our experiences with our mentors. So, I mean, the crucial thing for me is about trust. That's the most important thing, because when you have trust with someone, they will do more with you. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they, will pay you more money, but at this point in time, they might in the future. But it really is important to continue building that trust, because there's always going to be a time when those people spend money with you and upsell. So I like to divide this into 3 different parts: prior to your call, on the call, and then post call, so your follow-ups. And these are very, very important, because if someone, if you qualify someone in the right way, you're going to have the right call with someone, at the same time. If you disqualify people, you'll find that the people that wanted to have a call with you anyway tend to come back and say, hey, I really do want to have this call because I want to do something. So it's also about the value of your time. It's not a good use of your time to jump on and have many different calls with random people, because there's many people that are I don't want to use I'll use the word life suckers, that just want to book calls with you and take all your time and energy and everything for themselves, and also give nothing back. So you definitely want to be in a position where you're qualifying the people you're having conversations with as well. On the call, we usually do about 45-minute call maximum. And people find that surprising, but when you find the context and you actually stay in control of the call, it really is pretty simple to do it in that time frame as well. So we'll start with things like the context, exactly, what's the call about, what's the process that you're going to follow, and then what is actually going to be the action points that you take at the end. And we do this with the introduction. Is really about, who you are, why you're having this call, and also what you do, and this gives you a credibility. So when you start introducing yourself and then introducing the call, it's about, oh, this person is actually a valuable person I'm having a conversation with. It's just not a random person. Okay, great. It blocks down, it removes the barriers immediately. And when you start from that angle, people also go, okay, this might not be necessarily a sales call. This is actually going to be an added value call as well. We'll spend at least 20 to 25 minutes doing kind of like a mentoring space, which is just supporting them in their business. And this is a really good qualification as well, because we start by saying, tell me about your business, how you make your money, and what your revenue is. And you make it part of your process. And people are really, I've never had someone tell me on a call, oh, I'm not going to share that with you. Because I make it part of the process. And this really helps me identifying what someone's affordability is. Also, I'm already thinking what programs are maybe the right level for them, because we have different level programs. So it really is connecting people with the right step to take at the right time, which I think is the most valuable part. So we also find out about where they want to go. So this is where they currently are. And it's like, well, in 12 months, where do you want to be? Like if you had the best year, and maybe you did some mentoring or training with us, and after 12 months, you were in a place, what would that look like? And then now they're thinking outside of the box, and they're thinking about, wow, if I could do something that I haven't done before, what would that look like? And you're helping them to really raise that bar a bit as well, going, well, this is the potential of what could happen. Then we do a bit of support, like, mentoring the current business. We focus on their team, focus on their revenue. Maybe we talk about some of the easier ways to make more money in their business. But we talk about the what and the when. We don't talk about the how. And the reason is that our products and services are the how. It's like, well, how do I actually get to this point? Well, let me tell you, come and join us for iLab, or come and join us for one of our programs. And I will tell you why I think it's good for you. So you're not just selling me something, but I'm telling you why it's going to give you the greatest value. And you focus on the points that are relevant to this specific client. So you've got all of the context around this client. You know who they are now. You know where their business is. You know where their challenges are. So when you go and tell someone about iLab, you don't have to tell them the 75-page manual about what iLab is. You have to tell them the points that are really going to go, that are going to solve their problem, and focus in that area. And then straight away on the call, it's really about, you know, making sure that you're set up in a way to get people to sign up. Because if they're ready to sign up, you want to make sure that you can take payments, that you can onboard people immediately. And the reason is that we know that 50% of sales at least are lost on a follow-up, as opposed to closing the sale or finalizing it with a client on board. Super, super important to make sure that you set up in that entire process. The final thing for me that I just want to share is the follow-up. Once the call's over, that's not the end of the process. Remember, this is a life cycle, and your clients are you want them to be with you for lifetime. So I've had calls with people that have had really, you know, great ideas or great businesses, just not making the money and not ready to take any action, but just keeping the momentum and keeping the trust and everything flowing. And, you know, a year later, 6 months later, they can connect with me and say, hey, Danny, I'm ready to do this now. Let's get it done. And I think that's, you know, another point is that your revenue doesn't have to be right then and there. It's also about the follow-up. It's about the, you know, the ongoing life cycle of that client, and where you actually want them to end up. I would say the final thing is really about the value of your time. Is think about what the value of it is for your time and the value of the client's time when you have these calls. It's not just about, you know, what you're selling them, but really about how they can really solve their big problem and move forward. That's what I'd like to share on the trusted sales or call side. And yeah, hope you guys are using this process.
That's awesome. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, so important. I mean, there's a reason we call out our whole team that connects up as Genius Igniters, and the actual process of Genius Igniting, because the whole thing is igniting the genius of the person that you're sharing with. So everything Danny just went through, I think one of the biggest things around it is that and you hear this everywhere, and I'm sure everyone on this call, you've heard this as well, that like, you know, entrepreneurs want to go out and generate revenues for their business, but they don't want to sell, right? And as you heard from everything, Danny, you're not actually at any point selling. You like if you have a day when you wake up and you're like, oh, today I've got to make sales, right? It's not a fun day, because you're gonna have to like go out there and just basically feel like you're just like in for a day of rejection, right? And that's how so many sales teams and sales managers have got like trained, is that's what they're meant to do. It's like just harden up and, you know, take, you know, nine no's for every yes. But everything that you're hearing here is not actually saying, do you want to buy this, and then getting a rejection. This is really, really, really being curious about your customer. I mean, you should wake up in a day full of calls with people who are going to call you and just be so excited, because you're going to be able to actually inspire people, regardless of whether they want to buy anything from you or not. You can inspire them and open up a relationship. And seriously, this world needs more people opening up a conversation that allows people to bring out the best in themselves, right? We all know this, right? Everyone's looking for it. And so when you have someone who you booked a call with, or they booked a call with you, right, and they've actually set themselves up to do that, and obviously that whole process of making sure that you're giving people an easy way for them to actually book up a call to have a conversation with you, and you're coming into that call with one intention, which is actually to inspire that person to be their greatest self and open up pathways, which makes it easier. The path of least resistance to their greatest self is through you. That as a result, they're like, right, I'm going down that path, and they're coming through you. If they have an other area which is of a higher point of least resistance, then they can go down that route. If they can't afford what you're offering them, then have something else you can offer them. This is why you shouldn't just be offering your own products. Like, offer our products, offer the products of people around you, so you've got a whole range. So there's going to be something that fits in, and provided you've done a good job of actually really being of value to this person on the call, so they actually get really excited wanting to do more with you, then they will. And if for any reason they decide not to, as Danny said, they'll come back to you afterwards, right? Because we all are short of people that we can actually have a conversation with, who just gives out an extra bit of clarity and an extra bit of inspiration on where we're going as well. So keep that in mind as the next step. You know, this whole process as a mentor or as someone who's going to be of support to entrepreneurs, what you're doing, it is such important work. And for every day, you know, knowing that the actual communication out equals income in, that if you say, well, if I want more income in, I got to like, if I want 10 times my income in, I got to 10 times my communication out, right? So who am I going to get in contact with today? Who am I going to speak to today and get out there and do it, right? That's really this stage that we're talking about here now, which goes beyond just the marketing, which is where people come to you. This is now where you step up and actually connect with them and engage and meet where they are, right? So hopefully that has been of value. Do use it in whatever it is that you are going to be active on this coming week. Keep playing the game, and we will catch up with you all on our next call. Thanks a lot, everyone, and thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Danny. We will catch up with you all later. Bye. Whatever's the biggest thing from the call, do post that as well, so we get a bit of feedback coming from you on the circle as well. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks.